chat, I'm gonna retell the cockroach dishwasher story for like the 18th time because it was a character defining moment for me. Okay, so when I first moved out of my parents' house, it was to come to school, right? And I moved into a house with 2 other girls, one of which actually shows up in my Twitch chat sometimes. Anna was one of my old roommates. So my other roommate, she moved in a month early because she was living, at the time she was still living with her mom and her stepdad, and her mom and her stepdad recently bought a new house and they were gonna move into that house at the same time she was moving out. So she ended up being at the place for like an extra month while we were like before we had moved in, so she paid the rent for that month herself. She was moved in, whatever, and I went up to go see excuse me, I went up to go see the house and like meet her and like meet her dog and everything. She had a dog named Rue, Chihuahua, cutest little baby ever. And when I walked by the dishwasher, I noticed it kind of smelled weird, and I was like, oh, like I don't know what that smell is. She's like, yeah, I can't really figure it out, like I'll look around and see where the smell's coming from. So a month passes and I move in and we still kind of notice a weird smell in the kitchen, right? And it takes me about 2 weeks to realize, because we hadn't done dishes at that point, right? It takes me about 2 weeks to realize that the smell is coming from the dishwasher because the filter at the bottom of the dishwasher hadn't been cleaned, right? So it was like actually disgusting. Like it was so nasty. So I had to figure out how to take it out. Like I learned how to clean a dishwasher that day, basically, is I took out the filter, I took out everything at the bottom, I let it soak in hot water because it was fucking disgusting. Had like food in there and like all that shit. It was awful. I put it back in and I'm like, okay, hopefully that's over, right? So I run the dishwasher, it's chill, right? So the next day I come downstairs at about like 8 a.m. and I'm like, oh boy, it's coffee time, because you know, you make coffee in the morning. And I opened the dishwasher because I was gonna get a coffee cup off the top rack. You know how there's like a little hole where the dishwasher latches to itself to close the door? I opened the dishwasher door. Excuse me, I coughed. I opened the dishwasher door. Jesus. And a cockroach crawls out of the hole where it was gonna latch like to itself, and it crawls across all of the dishes, and I'm just like, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to me in my life. And so you know what I did? I closed the door and I run the dishwasher on sanitary. And if you don't know what sanitary does on a dishwasher, it basically is at like 100, I think it's like a boiling temperature at the water. So I was hoping that would kill the cockroach, right? Because I wasn't gonna touch it. It was crawling around in the dishwasher. How am I supposed to squash it? It's nasty. So I run on sanitary, and about 3 hours pass, and I am absolutely fucking dreading opening the dishwasher, right? Because there's a huge cockroach in there. So I open the dishwasher and there are 3 dead roaches on the bottom of the dishwasher. And I'm like, this is like actually the worst thing ever. And there are also babies crawling around in there. So I close the dishwasher again and I run it on sanitary again. And we call our landlord. And I'm like, yo, the previous tenant very obviously didn't clean the filter, and now we have roaches in this dishwasher. Is there anything you can do about this? And she literally says to me, what do you want us to do about it? And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So I go check my lease, right? And apparently in small letters at the bottom of the lease, as like an addendum to the contract, it says that like, oh, the landlord or the tenant is responsible for all pest control, which like Fucking of course. So me and my 2 roommates had to pay like out the ass for pest control, and we literally could not use that dishwasher for like almost 4 or 5 months because of the roaches. Like there was like a nest of them, and they were German roaches. And if you guys know anything about roaches, like they're really hard to get rid of, but German roaches are apparently, I learned this when I was doing research, they're apparently like one of the worst like kinds of cockroaches to get rid of, because they can live without food or water for 100 days, and they can eat dead human skin and like human hair on the floor for like sustenance. So yeah, it was traumatic. That was traumatic, and it was a really bad experience. Like it was my very first place I rented too. So yeah, that's my cockroach dishwasher story.